All right, here we are at another damn Flipping Houses for Rookies podcast.
Well, you said flipping.
Wow. Huh?
You said flipping.
What am I supposed to say?
No, that's fine, but sometimes that word, never mind.
Well, we do flip properties. Sometimes we do it fast, sometimes we do it slow. Sometimes we do ugly houses, sometimes we do pretty houses.
Eventually they flip.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, so today's episode is number 465. The episode title is Secret Routine Franchise Model to Retire Early with Creative Real Estate.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be one of those milestone podcasts.
Really?
Yeah, this is the beginning of a new evolution in the industry, I promise you.
And I'm finding out about this now, huh?
Correct. I've been a busy boy. I'm back to working 10, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So here we go.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is today's description to explain this strange phenomenon we're going to go through today. Here we go. Most creative real estate investors fail because they're navigating a maze blindfold, while the secret few profit from all the confusion. The confused buy course after course, jump from guru to guru, collect techniques like a kid trading business cards. Wow, I got all confused there. Like a kid trading baseball cards.
Ah, like the old days.
Yeah. And never really completing the puzzle of a wealth machine. Mm-hmm. This is like building a puzzle with pieces from 10 different boxes or 10 different puzzles, which is like being dropped in a foreign country without a map or a compass. And don't be alarmed. The industry has created this chaos on purpose.
Oh, no.
Think about it. If there was a clear path to real estate to follow, step by step, you'd be financially free, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many courses would you need to buy? How many seminars would you need to attend? How many coaching programs would you join? Good news. The confusion is the business model. Until now. For the first time in creative real estate's history, I'm going to share the obvious and very successful ladder for climbing to wealth and no money down, no risk real estate transactions. An actual roadmap the minor few have traveled for mega wealth and financial freedom. Okay, so just so you know, Peter, before we go on, I'm going to, for those of us watching on video, it's a for real thing.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I'm actually showing a picture of the actual blueprint or the roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to describe it all today before we leave. But before we get started on the podcast, let's handle some of the housekeeping stuff that we need to do.
Okay.
So first of all, make sure you subscribe to us wherever you're watching or listening to us. Also, make sure you like us or dislike us if you think we're that bad. Leave a comment. If you have any questions, you can go to flippinghousesforrookies.com and go to the support ticket on the top right. I will tell you I'm not as good as I used to be at looking at those. Or you can go to flippinghousesforrookies@gmail.com and it will get delivered right to my direct email. Make sure if you have any questions, I can clear them up in either one of those two places. And make sure you go to Amazon because we have a new book out. I'm going to have my workbook released pretty soon. I keep saying that, but I've been so damn busy with this other stuff, I'm not doing it. And this, too, will soon be a book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Good.
And then I'll probably stop for a little while. Although I do have other books in the realm in my head, I've got them in my future plans, for deal making and negotiating skills and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be working on that too, but not right now. But type in William Hawthorne without an E, Hawthorn, in Amazon and go grab my Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operators Manual. I've had raving comments on that book, and it feeds into what I'm going to talk about today. So the thing that you should realize is today I'm going to talk about the overall business plan, and the book Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operators Manual is the blueprints and the details of what I'm going to talk about today. But by talking about what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to kind of clear up a lot of confusions on why most are not successful. Okay, Peter?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, so pay attention today. Today's not one of those podcasts where you could be exercising and answering your emails and doing the other things while you're listening, because today will change your life. I know I've said that before, and it probably is true, because if there's certain parts of the business that you're trying to figure out, each podcast addressed those correctly. Which, by the way, if there's a topic that we're not covering or something you want more detail on, just send an email to flippinghousesforrookies@gmail.com. Pretty high chance that I'll be able to pop a podcast out for you and give you lots of answers, okay? But pay special attention today. You'll tell the story of listening to today's podcast later on in life, when the entire industry uses what you're about to hear today, and you're here listening to it for the very first time. This will be your story to your loved ones, right? And it's because life isn't fair. Life isn't fair, and money does not grow on trees. But one great idea can change your life forever.
Yep.
It's no accident you're here listening today. So let's just call it fate. Okay?
Good enough.
And here I say, because the headline says, I talk about a secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if something's not commonly known by, let's say, 98% of America, can we say that it's a secret?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Well, sometimes you say, I think, well, they're not trying to do that, but maybe they are trying to do that. Either way, if you don't know it, you don't know it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, think of it this way. The realtors have classified creative real estate as the alternative. That right there is enough. So that means 98% of America, A, doesn't know there's an alternative, and B, the realtor who they themselves have done what they're accusing us of doing, right, are being critical of us. The truth of the matter is when you start looking at some of the documents and the way we do things, with land contracts and owner financing and lease options and all that kind of stuff, that stuff's been around for thousands of years, at least back to the Roman Empire, and probably before then. So that's a few thousand years. The realtor came on board, I think, 1903, 1908 is when the word was trademarked. And from the 1908 point to the 1949 point, the only thing they were able to do was turn themselves into charlatans, which is snake oil salespeople, because they were doing things like stealing deposits and doing all kinds of shady shit. And somebody had to write a code of ethics in 1949 and then create the National Realtors Association to implement the code of ethics on realtors. And they've done a really good job until 2022 or 23.
A couple of years ago. Yeah.
When they were sued for racketeering.
There we go again.
So I guess that code of ethics wasn't exactly, well, it was implemented on the users, but not on the owners.
Yeah. it's always good to like do as I say, not as I do, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy.
So this is the reason why I make these harsh statements that I'm making. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if something is not commonly known by 98% of America, we can agree it's a secret, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
we can. Otherwise, I would not have used this word in today's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It has been unknown, the stuff we're going to talk about. And in my opinion, 98% of all creative real estate entrepreneurs let the 2% win the horse race by a nose. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They earn 100%, even 1,000% in prize money over the second place horses. And life is no different. Think about that.
Mm.
So it's not that somebody's smarter or better, and I'm going to prove that to you today. Okay? It's because some have a blown blindfold on, some figure it out, some come up with their own ideas, some. I can keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
Basically, until today, creative real estate knowledge has been like going through a maze blindfolded, or trying to build a puzzle using pieces from 10 different puzzles.
Definitely that one.
Say it again.
Definitely that one. That whole idea of trying to piece it together as people, read something here, a book there, a seminar here, and a guru there, and try to piece it all together.
Yeah, I think out of all the things I've written, at least in the last 5 years, anyways, that I can remember, which doesn't say much, is in the description, I wrote, this is like building a piece of puzzle with 10 different boxes, which is like being dropped in a foreign country. Okay, so.
No map, no compass.
Yeah. Yeah, so the confused by course after course, jump from guru to guru, collecting techniques like a kid trading baseball cards.
Yeah.
That's one of the best, most concise sentence I think I've ever written.
Well, it reminds me of when I called you like 9 years ago or 10, by this time, right? And it was a Sunday morning. I was at my first seminar, and my head was just filled with things. And I called you because I knew you knew what you were doing. I said, "So, do I need an LLC first? Do I get a bank account? Do I need a business card? Do I? Where do I start?" It's so confusing. There's so many things thrown at us.
Right.
And you clarified it, just 1, 2, 3, right in a row, and I was able to start. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just sitting there with confusion, not knowing where to start. So I definitely remember that point.
Yeah. No clear map, no compass to hint of the right direction.
Yep.
Instead, we have one expert teaches unique wholesale methods.
Mm-hmm.
Another screams, buy and hold. A third says, fix and flip is the way to make your fortune. And here you are spending money for these techniques, but paralyzed, standing still, wondering which path to travel, or the least path of resistance to travel. AKA, how I hear this all the time. How long will it take me to do my first deal?
Yeah, sure.
How long will it take me to make money?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want you to understand today's episode is going to be a 30,000 foot overview. And later on, I will be writing a book. It's not going to be a big book. It'll be one of those small, like pamphlet books.
Mm-hmm.
Because the book, Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operators Manual, is the blueprint on what we're going to talk about today and how you're going to do that. It's the exact blueprint. I mean, like exact. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've spent, oh my God, I stopped counting at $150,000 on my real estate education. And almost 3 decades And I still buy books. I still go online. This week alone, I bought 4 books. I think I've read 1.5 of them. Maybe I'm almost done with my second one this week. So I feel like I have some idea what the market's like. I'm on 3 coaching groups. I own a software company with hundreds of users.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I have coaches. I have salespeople. I have 5 salespeople that work for me that talk to sellers every day. I mean, talk to uh, investors every day.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 or 3 people in my system trying to buy people. Now it's just you, but I don't think that it shouldn't be taken lightly that and I feel like I'm a nobody. I feel like I'm just a peon and I'm a drop of water in the ocean. But at least I feel like every day I'm hands on, right?
No, I
So
definitely say you got your finger on the pulse. Definitely,
yeah,
you're not making things up. Like you don't wake up in the morning like, oh, this is a cute idea. No, this is based on reality.
right. So uh what I'm going to go over today, and you'll hear it because I'll start in a couple minutes, right? You'll realize because you'll find yourself in the ladder. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's untangle what the industry has created as chaos and confusion on purpose.
Oops, that sounds a little brutal, but go for it.
And this is not. This is. I'm sorry. I shouldn't know why I said that. And this is the one idea that can change your real estate life forever, or this one concept, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But before I start, let's clear a few things up.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm going to go into the cobwebs of Bill's head. And I'm gonna bring something up that you would probably never think of, but it's something that I think of. And on a personal note, I was working on some things for myself because I have a high end coach. I'm actually in a mastermind group, uh, which I don't attend enough of it. From Perry Belcher, you can't even get in it unless you're invited,
Huh.
right? And it's several thousands of dollars a year. And then I have a private coach that I deal with every Friday morning. Him and I had been together. He told me the other day, I think it's been 10 years. It's
Yikes.
been a long time, 8 or 10 years. So I know that when I get to the end of the week, I have to pull my shit together and kind of let him know, like, well, here's where I'm at.
Mm.
Right. So I feel like I've been all over the board, right? Like kind of bouncing around, and I feel like I don't feel centered, self-centered,
Mm.
right? So this is when I came up with the idea of an ecosystem,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
And here's what I mean by ecosystem in creative real estate,
Yeah.
right? So here's a definition, here's Bill's definition of an ecosystem. Because when you walk in the front door of creative real estate, it's like going to a trade seminar. You ever go to one of those? You walk in the front door and all the vendors are all around the outside, and there's rows on the inside, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there's all these different concepts, right? You're at a trade show, right? And they're
Sure.
giving you business cards and trying to make contacts and network and all that. To me, that's what it's like when somebody comes into the creative real estate industry. It's like that room, that big stadium full of all these vendors with all their ideas and their little pitches and their cute little sayings, and the pretty girls, and the food and the alcohol and all that kind of stuff. To me, that's what I see in my mind as the creative real estate ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
If you could just have a tour that would survey you when you walked in the front door and say, "What are you here for?" and then have a tour guide walk you around to all the right booths, it would be a lot more productive, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And this is what I'm talking about. So my definition of an ecosystem in creative real estate means this. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Loosely coupled but independent network of seller leads, buyer leads, deal structuring, paperwork, automation, technique, awareness, and ability level. So this is what we're dealing with in creative real estate. The ecosystem is a loosely coupled but independent network of seller leads, buyer leads, deal structuring, paperwork, automation, technique, awareness, and ability level.
Oddly enough, that seems to cover it.
Right?
That's the things that, I know when I'm on the phones 5-6 days a week, talking to people, and all those things are actually happening.
Yeah.
There's the sellers, I need some buyers, and like, what kind of deal do I do? And then I have to be aware of what's going on, and have to be a very able person, and you just kind of go at it. But all those things are like intertwined.
Right. Yeah. And you wonder why you're pulled in multiple directions like you're silly putty.
Silly.
Right?
Silly for sure. Silly for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like trying to follow a treasure map that was torn up in pieces and scattered and hidden all over America. Think Indiana Jones when you're thinking this.
Okay. Good.
Right?
That's a good one.
Last thing I want to reveal, I uncovered this by starting with many one-to-one coaching calls and deal with client awareness first.
Okay.
I'm going to come back to that. Then I would give, so I'm just going to do it now. So here's what, and God knows how I figure this stuff out, but it's just because I obsess on it. And thank God for my cigars, because I get so many people telling me, oh, cigars are bad for you. Yeah, well, you ought to be inside of my head, because I'm telling you, half my life wouldn't be what it was if I didn't smoke cigars. And it's not the cigars, it's the peace time, the relaxed time, the chill time when I'm smoking a cigar, right?
That's so right. Here, you cannot smoke in the house, so you have to go outside or in your car. So you're kind of alone, and just you, the cigar. I think there's something in the cigars that make you smart, though. I really think that.
Oh, well, thank you. I didn't think I was smart, but okay. But when I'm on these one-to-one calls, here's what normally happens, right? And this is what, and it just popped in my head. It was actually, anyways, it was early in the morning when it happened, right? Here's what actually happens. I have to deal with, the first thing I have to deal with is the person I'm talking to awareness level. What are they aware of? Are they a flipper? Are they a realtor? Have they done a deal before? Have they studied anything before? Have they bought books? Like, where are they at?
Sure.
Right? And then once they do that, they're calling me for a free consult, which you can get, anybody can get, right? A free consult. It's worth a couple $100, right? At that point, I would give them actions that are needed. Like, if it was me, here's what I would do. That's my favorite saying, right?
Yes. You do say that.
And here's the thing that's probably the most obvious that has, because I actually did this backwards. It's kind of like the be, do, have formula. If you want to have, you got to go all the way back to be and do it that way, right? But I started with the end. And what I noticed is the clients that would follow instructions, the clients that would take notes, the clients that would treat the call as its value instead of just be there checking it out. The non-spectators, the involvers, the engagers, those people would follow the little blueprint I gave them, and 100% of the time, they gained an ability. Which meant I had to start at the bottom rung of this ladder, where most people's awareness and acceptance level is in this industry. And build up from there. one rung at a time, one experience and ability gained at a time. Because, see, here's the thing. I'm going to explain this to you in about 2 seconds here. Right?
Okay.
Here's the thing. You cannot move up the next rung of the ladder if ability hasn't been gained. Because ability gain means experience. And until you're comfortable with step 2, you're not going to go down to step 3. Step 3 will feel like too steep of a gradient. Step 3 will feel like you walked onto a new planet. You went from Mars to Pluto. Right? And the only thing that changes that is the ability gained. That's a personal thing.
That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah. I do something similar in my education, things that I do. I have to find out where's the person at, to be grammatically poor. Where are they? Where do they know? And what do they need to know next? And you have to find that spot. And everyone's a little different. So you have to pay that attention.
Right.
Yeah.
So creating confidence and skill as they learn is vital.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why my book, Leads, Deals, Cash, the Creative Real Estate Operator's Manual, is all about the details of how to use this ladder to climb. Now, I just want to make a comment here about the book. I know in the last, 8 or 10 podcasts, this is all I'm talking about.
You should.
There's 2 things that I want to tell you. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there are a lot of other podcasters that are funded by their sponsors. And they have ads. I mean, some of them don't even speak for 5 or 8 minutes, and the ads are 5 or 8 minutes long.
Ooh.
These are the big guys, right? They're funded by their ads. We don't have ads here. This is 465 podcasts. There are no ads.
Yep.
The second thing is that the book, I don't even know if I'm making money on the book. I mean, I haven't been into my account. I mean, if the money's there, it's in my Amazon account, and I don't even know it. I don't even know how much is there, and I have no idea how to take it out if I even wanted it. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I will figure out someday, because somebody will come along and say, "Hey, we need that money," right? So the point is this. The reason why I'm doing it is because the reason why I promote it so much is because the people that have read it have told me that nothing like this has ever been written before, and it's an industry interrupter. It changes the concept that you need money and you need capital and you need education and you need all this stuff. The book is written so you can earn while you learn. You don't need to know anything except how to read the book. And I take you through it step by step, right? So this is one of my legacy points for my grandchildren, that they will have this materials. They will own the copyrights to it, right? And this is one of those things I want. So that's why I keep pushing it. I'm not pushing it. It's not a money thing. I mean, I guess it is, because you got to buy the book. And sooner or later, I'm going to get the money, but it's not the purpose. It's not funding the show. I fund this show. I fund the show out of my pocket every single week. It's at least 4 to 6 hours worth of work for me per week. And I'm telling you, when I'm working, I make $500 to $700 an hour. I just wrote an email sequence for someone for a month, and that was $3,000 worth of work. Okay, so I'm not being a hotshot. I'm just saying. I mean, it's not even halfway through the year, and I made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars with real estate already this year. So I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that I mean what I do. This is my I'm giving back mode. And until you're in a position where money is not always a problem, you can't understand that you need the help. Right? So that's where I'm at.
Hey,
right, so
you know what? Give me an analogy. You've been talking about, like, when you walk into that trade room and there's booths all over the place. So to compare to that, to me, you walk in Bill's trade show and you go to the first table, you get what you need. It's all in a row, a straight
Right.
line.
And it's
And then you go to the
organized.
next table, what you need. You don't have to wander around. It's a straight, long hallway. You just go down it, booth after booth. You get everything you need in the right sequence. And when you come out the other end, it's like, wow, look at me. Look what I know. Look what I can do. That's what it's like to me.
It's exactly what it's like. That's a good analogy.
Hmm.
All right, so the book, Leads, Deals, Cash, the Creative Real Estate Operating Manual, is designed to climb up this ladder I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All while taking the pieces and parts of the creative real estate ecosystem, piece by piece, organizing them and applying each at the exact correct time for gargantuan results and quick ability attained. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. We're going to start at the bottom of the chart and go from the top because it's a ladder. But before I do that, I want to just say one more thing.
Yes.
I so wanted to name this, and I can't do it. Right? I wanted to name it the McDonald's franchise for creative real estate. But I'm afraid of copyright, so I didn't use the word McDonald's. So instead, I've called it a secret franchise model to retire early with creative real estate.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start at the bottom. Now, the way it works, and I'm going to show this to you on the screen, right? If you can see it. It's a little fuzzy, right? There we go.
Oh, that's a little better, yeah.
So there's 3 columns, left to right. The first column is the awareness level.
Mm-hmm.
The middle column is the action required at that awareness level.
Mm-hmm.
And the third column on the right is ability gained. So it goes left to right. Awareness. Next one to the right is action required. And then the third column is ability gained.
You know, that's interesting. That should be something that I go, oh, yeah, I run into that. I've studied philosophy things and education. I know that sequence. Never heard of that one. Really? It's like, of course. So you have to be aware of something. You work on it. Then like, oh, now I can do it.
Right.
Where'd you pull that out of?
My head.
Oh, good. That end is better. Good for you. No, that's cool. And you're going to send me a copy of this later on, I hope?
Oh, sure.
Okay. 'Cause I have not seen this, folks. I walk here like you, like an innocent lamb waiting to see what Bill comes up with. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So the very bottom awareness, the number one awareness that a person has when they walk into that trade show, or what caused them to walk into the trade show. Let's talk about that before they even walk in.
Yeah.
Right?
Why'd they go to the trade show in the first place?
Right. So the sheet says, thinks creative real estate could solve problem or problems.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. That was totally me like 9 years ago. Sweetheart, I'm going to this free seminar in Rocky Hill. I'll be back in 4 hours. Right. Oh, Lordy. Go ahead. Sorry.
The action required is creative real estate fully explained.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't move up until you answer that question. Can creative real estate solve my problems? So the action required is you need to figure out, well, what is creative real estate? You need it fully explained to you.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Now watch this. The ability gained has confidence real estate will solve the problem without money or risk.
Oh, Lord. You know, you think Bill's making these things up. But how many guys? I was at Home Depot. One of my friends from the music business was working at Home Depot now after the music store closes. He says, oh, you do real estate, Peter? Yeah, I tried. My wife, she said, no, you cannot do that. You're stupid. No. And the wife stopped him just like that. There was no confidence that they could do it. He had some, but she had zero. And some plus zero is zero. And that was the end of him. He went back to working at Home Depot.
He was
do not do that.
He was playing setback and got trumped.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord, help me.
And that's not the word like President Trump. He got Trump. In other words, the suit trumped him.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
All
No,
right,
but
so
that's true. You got to pass through that door. Like, I don't know.
this is level 1. We classify it under the rookie section, right?
Yeah.
Your awareness is you think creative real estate could solve your problem. The action you need to do is you need to figure out if creative real estate fully explained before you can move on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the ability gained has confidence real estate will solve your problem without money or risk.
Yeah. Good.
Once you do that, you move up to the next level.
I have no idea where this is going. This is cool. Go ahead. What now? What?
Number 2, level 2.
Bill, I think I finished level 1. What's level
Okay.
2?
Attempting too many ideas with no results.
Okay.
This is what I was talking about, jumping from seminar to seminar, guru to guru, coaching, right? All this stuff. So you actually, and that's not correct. That's not what I meant to say. That's the next one up. This is, should I do wholesale? Should I do subject to? Should I do tax lien? Should I do blah, blah, all these different types of real estate, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is. Attempting too many ideas with no results.
Okay.
The action required is finds a blueprint that might work.
Might.
Now you ready for this?
Yeah.
Ability gain. Starts getting motivated sellers.
Nice. Nice.
I'm going to do subject to, and I found this blueprint or this course or this coaching guide that resonates with me, and he's going to help me. Or I read this book, or I watched this YouTube video, whatever it is, and I'm going to start getting motivated sellers. I'm going to start getting leads because I'm going to do subject to.
And he gets a few.
Yeah. Well.
Is that what you said on the ability? He gets a few.
Yeah. No, he starts getting motivated sellers. Yeah.
Starts. Yeah. It's not rich yet, but he starts.
He may not even get a few, but he starts getting. He's working on getting motivated sellers because a motivated seller is a specific thing, right?
But he starts. He gets into some action. Okay.
So that's level 2.
Good.
Level 3, seeking better systems for consistent deal making. Watch this. You ready? This might be you, Peter.
Oh boy, that's what I'm not saying anything. I'm just watching. Where am I on this one? I know I graduated 1. Go ahead.
Seeking better systems for consistent deal making. That's the awareness level. Find software that gets deal maker strategies working. Gets one to do deals about every 90 days. And I'm being generous at 90 days.
Yes, you are. Yes.
So awareness number 3. So now we're moving out of the rookie stage, right?
Yep.
And we're moving into the amateur stage. Okay. So seeking better systems for consistent deal making, find software or some system. Usually today it has to be software. Back in the day, we didn't need software. But now you have to do so much outflow, you need software.
Yeah.
Right. So find software that gets deal making strategies working and ends up making one to do deals about every 90 days. Not sustainable. You're not quitting your job yet.
Nope.
Right. So now we're still in the amateur stage. Right. And we need to go to step 4. And step 4 is pursuing consistent income effortlessly.
Effortlessly, he says.
Pursuing consistent income effortlessly. Right? That's the awareness level. The action required is mentor helps to learn making 2 to 4 deals per month.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're coming out of the amateur stage and we're going into the professional stage because we're putting a mentor in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do this because I'm going to tell you right now that I do not take, because I'm taking on some new clients. I've not taken on a coaching client, I think, in 4 years.
Wow.
I've just in the last month taken on 2 or 3,
Mm-hmm.
and probably will only take on 2 or 3 more. We'll see how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my point in my ecosystem, in this ecosystem, I can't take somebody until they're at least in stage 4 or in level 4.
Right. So you're looking for somebody's not a baby.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't need to go to a kindergarten or grammar school. You need high school
Right.
level.
So level 3 is where we introduce creative REI replay.
Yeah.
And then once they get in there and they start doing 1 to 2 deals every 90 days, they're going to come up to the awareness level of pursuing instant income effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's where mentoring or coaching comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So level 4 is pursuing consistent income effortlessly. Action required is mentor helps to learn making 2 to 4 deals per month. The ability gained is has a workable blueprint for consistent income.
Yep.
In other words, their business is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we skip 2 and we skip 6, then we're in trouble.
Mm.
Is this making sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now once they have a workable blueprint for income, I didn't put it here, but what happens is you're going to have roller coasters. You're going to have some month where you're going to do 1 deal, and then you're going to have another month where you do 6 deals. It's not exactly consistent, and it's going to depend on weather. It's going to depend on staff coming and going. It's going to depend on all this. It's going to depend on whether you go on vacation. It's going to depend on whether you're in a good mood or not. It's going to depend on, parents needing assistance or kids that are in trouble. It's going to depend on school years, vacations.
Mm-hmm.
All these factors are involved because guess what? Up until this point, it's all about the entrepreneur, as we call the solopreneur.
Right.
Right? So when we move up into level 5, the awareness level is desires a financially secure business. See how these awarenesses, as you hit each ability, it pulls in another awareness.
No, it makes total sense.
It's a total gravity like flow.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's a logical progression.
Right.
It's not forced.
So once you have a workable blueprint down in 4 with some sort of consistent income, now you're going to desire a financial secure business. Right?
Yep.
And the action required when you have when you desire a financial secure business is the mentor helps to phase 1 the operation. What does the operation mean, Peter?
Well, that would be all the activities involved. It wouldn't be just one person doing the work. You have a few people. One's working on sellers, paperwork, selling, acquisition, sales. 2 different people.
So let's go back to my definition of ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right? And I should really put that helps to phase 1 the ecosystem.
Ah.
Right?
So which parts would apply?
So let's just read the definition, my definition again, right?
Yeah.
Loosely couples but independent network of seller leads, buyer leads, deal structuring, paperwork, automation, technique, awareness, and ability level.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, what is the mentor going to help you with? He's going to help you loosely couple independent networks. So if you own Creative REI Reply and that's the software that you're using, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't we an independent network? If you go on Bigger Pockets forums every day, isn't that an independent network?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the RIA meeting, the Real Estate Investors Association, isn't that an independent network?
Sure.
Right. So loosely coupled but independent networks of seller leads, buyer leads, deal structuring, paperwork, automation, technique, awareness, and ability level. The mentor is going to make sure that the phase one operation is assigned to the right people and they're capable of doing it. So here is where the mentor is going to do an inventory of the available resources
Mm-hmm.
and figure out who needs to be hired, who needs to be fired, who can you use for outsourcing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who can
Mm-hmm.
you use for all these things, right? Who do you need to have on staff? Where do you get your leads from? How do you do your paperwork, your legal advice? All these things that we don't think of
Mm.
when we start doing. Because here's what's going to happen. Remember, number 4 has a workable blueprint to make consistent income.
Yeah.
So they're not doing this by themselves. There's usually 1 or 2 people in a business, and they're just disorganized on who does what. It's what we call a hey you organization chart.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's assigned to any one thing. It's just everybody comes in and free for alls it.
Mm-hmm.
So in level 5, the mentor is going to help phase 1. Phase 1 means you do the job yourself and you understand it and you work out who's responsible for what area so that you could get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
But you're very much involved yourself in phase one.
Right.
You're not on the beach sipping coconuts yet.
Now watch this. The ability gained can take weeks off, not months.
Okay. But he can take weeks off.
Not months.
No. But that's
No,
better than nothing. Come on, it's a good
right.
start. Okay.
Because the business could stay together without you for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now number 6, which is the top of the rung, is hands-off real estate business. That's the awareness level. They want a hands-off real estate business.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The action required is the mentor helps to phase 2 the operations. So we're taking the owner or entrepreneur or whoever's in charge out of the day-to-day operations.
Yep.
Right? So we went from everything we know to teaching others everything we know.
Mm-hmm. And by that point, you've got them stabilized enough so they can do the job pretty well, work amongst each other. They know who's doing what, who's not doing what. And if you take a few months off, they'll manage at least that long.
I disagree.
Whoa. Oh, so what is it?
Because that's actually in stage 5 where the mentor helps the phase 1 operation.
Hmm.
Where this is when they have questions and they don't know what to do. You have that data. You see the difference? See, in a phase 2, like phase 1, you've got all your as we call them hat write-ups or your where they call them standard operating processes written up.
Mm-hmm.
You've got that in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stage 6 is where you actually put in like a training course room, or they go through some sort of training before they take they actually wear the hat or take that post, right? And it's more like it's a little bit more in depth because it's like if you have a problem, you go see your supervisor. You don't come to the top of the organization chart and come to me, the owner.
Right.
So five, where the mentor helps the phase 1, the solopreneur entrepreneur is there at the top of the organization chart or the flow chart or whatever you want to call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Answering questions from everything underneath him.
Sure.
There's no seniority. There's no middle management level.
Right. It's top and bottom.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But you're talking about step level 6, though? Because that's where we are.
Now, phase 2 is where you start putting that in place. You start making sure that you have middle management in place,
Mm-hmm.
and the chain of command, because there's two ways an organization works. It works from top down, top to
Mm-hmm.
bottom,
Mm-hmm.
meaning seniority, CEO at the top, you know, not to be derogatory, but ditch digger at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. Or the bottom, right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's seniority. So it goes up and down.
Sure.
What most don't think about is when you have different areas, like personnel and HR, and you have uh, all of your hiring and firing, you have all of your income, like your sales and people getting sold to, and all your salespeople, whether it's online and then you have your delivery unit, and then you have your qualifications unit to make sure that everybody's producing the right product, and then the last unit is actually getting your products out, right,
Mm-hmm.
or services out. So that's the natural flow of a business, right? But
Right.
what most people don't realize is not only is the up and down a command channel, but there's a left to right or right to left communication system.
Mm-hmm.
So the ditch digger knows that they don't go to the boss and say, hey, my paycheck is wrong. He goes to the bookkeeper,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or if sales are down, he goes to the guys that are trying to get the product out and say, are you guys having an events? Are you guys like on Facebook? Are the ads working? Like, what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because we need new people, new sales. We need to expand. Like, where are the new sales?
Yeah.
Right? Or if somebody makes a mistake in the company, right? They go into the qualification section and they get retrained on that one thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is the whole flow of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the ecosystem of your business. So in this section, you're going to put all that in place. And I could tell you that I've coached maybe a little bit, not even the full amount, a little bit of this.
Hmm.
I know how to do it. I just don't have people that make it this high.
Hmm.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, the the frontline activity of 1 to 5, level 1 to 5,
Yeah.
uh, the combat is so high that most don't make it to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Even myself, I've been in 6 a few times, but I'm not there right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've made my business smaller to accommodate my needs. I don't interact with you guys nearly enough with deal making, and we're not making deals because this ecosystem is not in,
Hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Now the ability gained in number 6, not running daily business, takes months off. It's a hands-off business.
Mm-hmm.
Takes months off,
Yep.
right? And again, this is all in my book.
Mm-hmm.
All in the book. That's stage 6 in my book. Let me pull it up here. And this is where I actually tell you who to hire first, who to hire second, what statistics to run them by, and
Yeah.
what the main indicators are. Right? The main
Mm-hmm.
indicators are on how to run your business.
And the indicators would be how things are going, so you know if it's
Mm-hmm.
working or not working, what you got to fix, where you got to put attention, where you're okay.
Yep.
Okay. Like statistical and whatever else.
Yep.
Good.
And I go through this in the book with the different stages. I actually I show you the process. I show you where to find the deals. Each level has its own marketing problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says chapter 11, stage 6, freedom, achievement, system, and process for hands off. This chapter explores the critical transaction from being hands on in your business to creating a hands off operation, focusing on the systems, processes, and key personnel needed to achieve true freedom. It 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 delves into the necessary mind shifts, documentation processes, and the implementation of key performance indicators to ensure success.
Mm-hmm.
Right? First phase, the hands-on exploration. That's what we were just talking about. Right? So it talks about active involvement, documentation is key, mapping the territory, eliminate pitfalls, identifying success, legacy, administration, standard operating procedures. Right? And then
Yep.
the second phase is transfer of knowledge. That's huge. So many miss that transfer of knowledge, right? And then the key KPIs, right? Key performance indicators
Mm-hmm.
as checkpoints, right? So these are the statistics, right? So you need to have objective measurement, you need to have data-driven decisions, and you need to have examples. Who's the core team? The administrative secretary, that's who we hire first, and then the acquisition manager, and then the sales manager. And what's the purpose of all these guys, right? And I go, there's a whole chapter dedicated to just what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So can you do it yourself without any kind of mentor? Yeah, maybe. That's why I wrote the book.
Mm.
But I'm going to tell you right now, the workbook, which I haven't released yet, actually goes through all of this, and it actually has drills. There's 5 questions and 5 essays for every single one of these levels in the workbook, which will
Mm-hmm.
soon be released.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, this is my latest creation. It probably seems a bit odd that I'm coming out with this, but it's the ecosystem that every investor or creative real estate investor for sure goes through. And without spotting where you might be, uh, is the reason why you're in the labyrinth or the maze with a blindfold on.
Mm.
Because you don't know whether you should go forwards, backwards, left, or right. You're just standing in the middle of the maze with a blindfold on, with your hands out, poking around, looking for a wall.
Mm-hmm. It's not clear at all without this. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Right. So between this, my book and my workbook and my certification program, because the workbook turns into a certification program,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you can't be successful. You have to work at it a little bit, but these are the step by steps. This is your college education. You know, here's the thing, Peter, and this is where I'm going to end off. We're actually going to end off early today. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
A doctor has to go to 6 or 7 years of college to make a couple hundred, $200,000 to $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
A lawyer has to go through 6 or 7 years of college to make a couple hundred, $250,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In creative real estate, you could spend literally these days 6 or 7 months and make double, triple, quadruple what doctors and lawyers make. And the 6 or 7 months is not book time. It's your apprenticeship. It's going through my materials and doing it. It's doing the right action. Actually, it just dawned on me. It just dawned on me. I've been bouncing around in this with my head for 2 weeks. It just dawned on me.
Wow.
It's A, what you think you know.
Mm-hmm.
B, you don't have to know what action to do with your awareness, right? So should I wholesale? Should I do subject to?
Oh.
Should I do liens? Should I do wraparound mortgages? You know, which is going to be part of the book when I write it, because really, really, there's only a couple types of real estate. All these deal structures we talk about are the way we do the paperwork. They're not actually deal structures.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually deal completers,
Mm.
right? So really, really, there's only a couple ways. I mean, you could say, okay, so there's pay all cash,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a couple ways to do that. And then there's, okay, I'm willing to wait and take monthly payments or do a terms deal. And then there's 3 or 4 ways to do that.
That's right.
And I'm going to write that in my books. And the 3 or 4 ways to do a terms deal is you could do lease options, you could do subject to, you could do owner financing, and that's really about it. And then everything comes below that, depending on those deal strategies, how you do your paperwork. Mm-hmm. And most people have, I mean, I've never heard anybody break it down before. So there's not all of these real estate deals you need to learn. You know, like the guy that's teaching subject to, we'll take Pace Morby, for example. He teaches subject to and actually says that he's a creative real estate investor. As far as I know, he doesn't do any of the other stuff that we do here. And I'm not saying I'm better than him or anything like that. He's just a, you know, the difference between, because I've been asked, because I do subject to deals, unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've taken subject to deals to the next level. I mean, I could actually show you how to close with a subject to deal in your attorney's office or in your closing agents, you know, like escrow company.
Yeah.
And the banks love it. And not only that, but I can show you how you could legally wholesale a subject to deal, and nobody talks about that. Mm-hmm. I've never heard that because it's the seller knows it, the bank knows it, everybody knows it, and you make a crap ton of money with it, right? So the difference between Pace and I is Pace is a marketer and a real estate person second, and I'm a real estate person first and a marketer second. Mm-hmm. And that's really the difference. And I've got more experience than Pace is of age.
Yeah, right.
So there is that too. So, and I'm not dissing him at all. He's done a wonderful job of getting a lot of people into the business. But all I say is that his ecosystem doesn't cover the entire business. Mm-hmm. So I just gave you a little bit of an outline, like you pay cash, and there's a couple, 2 or 3 ways to do that, right? Mm-hmm. Or you do a terms deal, and there's only a couple, 3 ways to do that. But out of each way, there's at least 2 or 3 ways to do the paperwork out of each system.
Sure.
And what people talk about in the industry is the way they do the paperwork, all the paperwork strategies. They don't categorize them in buckets. Like, no, it's either this deal or that deal. Which one is it? Okay, this is how we're going to execute it with this paperwork. But they talk about the paperwork deal, and all these things. You know, let me just rattle them. You know, we talk about a SOT deal, which is wholesaling lease options. We talk about rent to own, which is now lease options where you stay in them. Mm-hmm. So the first one, lease option, you're buying and selling. You're buying and assigning the lease option. So buyer and seller sees everything you did. Mm-hmm. On a rent to own, you have one lease option with your buyer. With your seller, another lease option with your buyer, because there's a gap between the money. You don't want everybody to know it. Mm-hmm. Then we have just plain old options where we can buy and sell for cash with a 5% discount. Then we have subject to, right? Mm-hmm. Then we have a fix and flip, and then we have wholesale, and then we have owner financing, then we have seller financing, right? All these seem like different strategies, which I have preached for many years, but they're not. They're actually closing techniques. They're actually the paperwork we use to do these deals.
That makes a lot of sense, because you're either paying for it right now or you're paying for it later. There's present time and there's future time. There's nothing in between that. But all the other details is, wait a minute, are you keeping the deed or am I getting the deed?
Right.
And then how would you like me to pay you? How, when, where, and am I paying your mortgage off, or you don't have a mortgage? Okay, I'll just pay you off.
Right.
So it's just details, but you have to know how to construct it so the seller and the buyer are comfortable and it works for them, and it works for the financing that there is or isn't. It makes a lot of sense the way you put it that way. The simplicity of it is crazy.
Right. Well, the right way to do it is to put it into a flow chart.
Mm-hmm.
So like you either go, they want all cash, you go down here.
Yep.
They want all trying, and then underneath they put the categories, and then underneath each category put down what the paperwork structures are.
Yep.
And that's how I see it in my head. And I don't even know I look at it that way. And then it just by sheer cigar time, I guess.
Yeah.
I start to see these things, right? And when I have to explain them to other people like you, then it makes it easier because I'll have a concept in my in my imagination, and then I'll talk to you, and then I just solidify or visualize it much better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because now I'm explaining it to you. So
Well, it helps us understand it too, because it's simplified. It's not like there's 15 ways to do this. Good luck.
Right. But I will get to all that when I decide to write the book. I have too many things going on right now, so it'll be perhaps over my summer vacation. Oh, wait a minute. I don't get that this year.
Well, excuse me. You had a spring vacation.
Oh, I know. I wasn't complaining.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I don't get one of those this year. Wasn't
Yeah.
complaining at all. And if I want one, I'll take one.
By the way, I'll
Actually-
tell you after. I'll tell you after. I planned my next vacation. I'll tell you after we get off. It's awesome.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right, good. So we're done with the podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed today. I put a link in the description. It's flippinghousesforrookies.com / franchise. That link does not work. It probably won't work until tomorrow. But if you're listening after this live podcast, then it should be live by the time you get to it, where you can actually download the version of it. Peter, I showed you one version. This is the version you'll get. This is the pretty version.
Oh, look how nice. You have a good AI, don't you?
No, I didn't. I tried to do it on AI and couldn't do it.
Really?
I had Fiverr deliver both of them.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, the first one I showed you, I really like that one better. But I have a foreigner in Fiverr, and there are a lot of misspelled words in there, and I've gone through and given her a list of them. And I've asked her 3 times to fix them, and I just finished the gig. So now I have to take this version, go find another Fiverr person, and tell them, can you fix all the because I don't have the software to make it the way they do it. So
Can you throw the one with the bad language through an AI and tell them to fix the language? Is AI smart enough?
I tried doing that, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyways. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being on this podcast, hopefully every single week. And make sure you subscribe to our channel so you know we're here. Make sure you like us. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you tell a friend about us. Make sure you go grab my book, Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operator's Manual. Just go to Amazon, type in William Hawthorne, or you could type in the title too, but you probably won't remember that. Just type in William Hawthorne without an E at the end, HAWTHORN. There's actually 7 books I've written there, so you can take a look at the other books as well. But this one is the most vital one. And soon I will have the workbook up there. I will let you guys know, hopefully in another week or 2. I keep saying that, but I have so many things I'm working on that it's ready. I just got to proofread it, so I should actually pay somebody to do that, but I don't know how to do that. So
I know a good proofreader.
Oh, you'll do it? Okay, good.
No, it's not me. It's someone else that's better than me.
Oh, Mary?
Yeah, she's actually good. She takes my stuff and goes, wait, you missed one.
Hmm.
Don't ask me why, but she's good at that one.
All right, so
Anyway.
thank you very much for your support. We're over now. Flourish and prosper, preferably do it in real estate, and let's make this industry much smarter, much easier, and much more profitable. Because realize if there was a step-by-step process, you wouldn't be jumping from course to course, seminar to seminar, and guru to guru, and you wouldn't be looking for coaching in every corner of the earth. So let's stop that and get everything into a standard process and one place to go, one place to it all fits all, and that's definitely in my book, Leads, Deals, Cash, create a real estate operator. Okay. Over and out. Have a good week.